Dreadmore isn't a place most people talk about, and when they do, they don't talk for long. It's a small, forgotten town sitting on the edge of a forest older than anything around it. Locals call the forest the Hollow Shade. Visitors call it wrong. And everyone who's ever lived in Dreadmore agrees on one thing. Once the sun goes down, the town belongs to something else. These are 3 creepy Dreadmore incidents that defy explanation. My cousin Owen lived in Dreadmore for nearly 7 years. He wasn't the type to get scared easily. Former military, calm, rational. When he talked about something, he meant it. One winter night, he was driving back home from work around 1 a.m. The road was empty, the forest on both sides silent. He turned onto Willow Fence Road, a narrow stretch with no houses for almost a mile. Halfway down, he noticed something strange ahead of him. At first, it looked like a tree branch stuck upright in the snow. But as he got closer, he realized it wasn't a branch at all. It was a man. The man stood completely still in the middle of the road. No coat, no shoes, wearing only dark pants and a torn shirt despite the freezing cold. His skin was pale, unnaturally pale, like it hadn't seen sunlight in years. Owen slowed down but didn't stop. Something about the man felt wrong. His arms hung too long, almost reaching his knees. When the headlights hit him fully, the man lifted his head. His eyes weren't reflecting light. There was nothing in them to reflect. They were solid black. Owen swerved around him and sped up. But as his headlights swept across the trees, he saw movement, multiple shapes stepping out from behind the trunks. Dozens of pale faces turning toward his car, all with the same black, lightless eyes. He floored it. When he looked in the rearview mirror, the road was empty again. No man, no figures, nothing. He got home shaking, but the incident didn't end there. The next morning, there were footprints outside his house, bare footprints, leading from the tree line to his front door. They stopped right at the welcome mat, then turned around and went back toward the forest. Owen moved out of Dreadmore a month later. 2 years after that, Willow Fence Road was closed permanently due to unstable ground. But people in town know the real reason. Every winter, sightings increase. Drivers report figures watching from the trees. Some say they follow cars, others say they run alongside them, and a few people claim the pale man has started knocking on doors. Always 3 slow knocks, always after midnight, always followed by silence. To this day, no one knows what the pale figures are, or why they seem interested in whoever sees them. Old Marrow House was abandoned long before anyone living in Dreadmore today was born. Locals say the original family vanished during a storm in the 1930s. No bodies, no signs of struggle. They were just gone. Teens in Dreadmore dare each other to go inside. Most chicken out. But 3 friends, Nora, Claire, and Jonah, actually did. They went in on a rainy night in early fall. Nora recorded most of it on her phone. The video was later found near the tree line, with Nora's cracked screen still recording. What happened inside wasn't survivable. When the 3 entered the house, they noticed right away that the air smelled like old soil, like something had been dug up recently. The wooden floors creaked under their feet as they explored the living room. Paint peeled from the walls. Claw-like scratches covered the door frames. They assumed it was animals, but then things started happening. In one clip, you can hear faint tapping upstairs. Jonah tries to laugh it off, but you can tell his voice is shaking. Claire whispers, "Is someone here?" The tapping stops instantly. For almost 10 seconds, the video goes silent. You can hear only breathing. Then, something scratches the wall directly behind them. Slow, deep, purposeful. Jonah shines his flashlight across the room, but no one is there. They decided to leave. As they reached the hallway, the front door slammed shut on its own. The sound echoed through the entire house. Nora screamed. The video shook violently as they ran toward the back of the house. That's when the whispering started. Dozens of voices, male, female, children, all whispering at once. Not words, just breathy, broken sounds, like they were trying to form sentences but couldn't remember how. Jonah tried opening the back door. It wouldn't budge. Claire pointed her flashlight up the staircase, and the beam caught something. Someone standing at the top. A figure. It was hunched, its arms long and rigid, its head tilted so far sideways it almost touched its own shoulder. The face didn't look human anymore. Nora's flashlight caught pale, torn skin stretched tight across a skull-like structure. No lips, just a wide, unnatural grin carved straight into the flesh. Then the figure moved, but it didn't walk. It twisted down the stairs, limbs bending at impossible angles, its head dragging along the railing, leaving a smear of something dark behind it. The flashlight dropped. The video turned black, but the audio continued. You hear Claire screaming, Jonah crying loudly, something heavy dragging across the floor. The whispering returning, louder, harsher. Then a deep, wet breathing right next to the phone, like something was sniffing it. And finally, footsteps walking away. Nora's phone was found 2 days later. Claire's shoe was found near the old well. Jonah was found wandering outside the forest, barefoot, covered in scratches, unable to speak. The search for Claire and Nora was called off after a week. Authorities claimed there were wild animal signs around the property, but residents of Dreadmore know the truth. No animal moves like that. No animal whispers. No animal locks doors from the inside. Old Marrow House still stands, rotting deeper each year, and every night locals say you can hear tapping from the upper floors. Fog in Dreadmore isn't like fog anywhere else. It doesn't move with the wind. It doesn't disperse. It just hangs there, thick and cold, like it's listening. One evening, a bus driver named Hal was finishing his last route. The fog rolled in heavily, covering the road so thickly that he could barely see past the front of the bus. He slowed down and turned on every light he had. Around the bend, he spotted a figure standing on the roadside. A girl. She looked around 12 or 13, wearing a white dress that was soaked from the moisture in the air. Her hair hung down in front of her face. Hal stopped the bus and opened the door. He asked if she was okay. The girl lifted her head. Her face looked normal at first, pale, frightened. But as she stepped closer, Hal realized her eyes were cloudy. Not like cataracts, but like swirling fog trapped inside them. She didn't speak. She just pointed down the road. Hal asked again if she needed help. She pointed again. He let her on the bus. She sat in the very back seat, staring straight ahead, hands folded on her lap. Every time Hal checked the mirror, she was sitting perfectly still. After a few minutes, Hal saw something else in the mirror, a shape moving through the fog behind the bus, something large, walking on two legs but with a strange, swaying gait, almost like its body was too heavy on one side. Hal pressed the gas, trying to get out of the fog patch, but the shape kept pace. He glanced in the mirror and froze. The girl was gone. He hadn't heard her move. He hadn't heard the door open. Yet her seat was empty, and the shape behind the bus was getting closer. As it came into view, Hal saw that it was tall, much taller than a person. Its limbs were thin and dragging. Its head hung forward, the neck too long, bending like wet rope. He pressed harder on the gas. The bus engine roared, but the fog grew thicker. The creature's outline blurred, then sharpened again, closer than before. At that moment, Hal heard a whisper, soft, right behind his ear. "She's still looking." Hal swerved. The bus skidded onto the shoulder, jolting him hard. The whisper stopped. The creature vanished into the fog. When Hal looked at the seat behind him, the girl was sitting there again, perfectly still, head tilted, eyes swirling with fog. This time, she spoke. "You should leave before he finds you." Before Hal could respond, the fog suddenly lifted. Bright headlights from a passing truck shone onto the bus, and the girl was gone again. Hal quit driving 2 days later and left Dreadmore permanently. He still refuses to drive in fog of any kind. Locals mention sightings of the girl often, always alone, always pointing, and always followed by something else, hidden deeper in the fog. Dreadmore is the kind of place that keeps its secrets buried deep. People claim these stories can't be real, that they're just myths made to scare outsiders. But the things seen on Willow Fence Road, the whispers inside Old Marrow House, and the girl walking through impossible fog, they've all left marks behind. And the people who witnessed them, they don't just leave Dreadmore, they run. Some towns are haunted by ghosts. Dreadmore is haunted by something older, something watching, something waiting. And sometimes it lets itself be seen.